Hello students, I am Manoj Kundare, the Assistant Professor of Electronic Science. Welcome back to our e-learning platform. In previous video, we have seen the details about center tap full wave rectifier. The link of the previous video is available in the description box. Please check it. Now, in this video, we are going to see the details about the full wave bridge rectifier. Okay, before going to start the today's topic, let's summarize the half wave rectifier and the center tap full wave rectifier. In half wave rectifier, we know that in half wave rectifier, this is the input AC signal, and in half wave rectifier we get the output during only in positive half cycles. Okay, let's see the operation here. Here the circuit of half-wave rectifier is shown, in which the only one or single diode is used. During the positive half cycle, that means during the positive half cycle, the diode D is forward biased and the voltage appears across the load RL. That means during the positive half cycle, we get the output here. Okay. But during the negative half cycle, during this part, this diode is in off state. That means this diode does not conduct. Hence, during negative half cycle, the current does not flow through the diode. Okay. I hope you all remember the operation of the half wave rectifier. Now, let's see the operation of center tapped full wave rectifier. This is the diagram of center tap full wave rectifier, in which a special transformer having the center tap facility is used. Okay. In full wave rectifier, there are two diodes used, diode D1 and diode D2. Okay. And load is connected across the secondary or the center tap, secondary, and the ground. Okay. This diagram is similar to this diagram. Okay, I hope you all understand this concept. Now we are going to see the operation of center tap full wave rectifier in two modes, that means during the positive half cycle and during the negative half cycle. We know that during each half cycle one diode is forward bias while other is reverse bias. Let's see operation. During the positive half cycle, diode D1 becomes forward bias. At the same time, D2 becomes reverse bias, hence the output appears across the load through the diode D1. Now, let's see the center tap full wave rectifier in negative half cycle. In negative half cycle, the diode D1 is reverse bias while D2 is forward bias. Let's see the operation. During the negative half cycle, diode D2 is forward bias and D1 is reverse bias. Hence, the second output appears across the load by the diode D2. Okay, here this output appears by diode D1. I hope you all understand the operation of center tap full wave rectifier. Now let's see the next type of full wave rectifier, known as full wave bridge rectifier. Here the bridge of the diode is used. In bridge wave rectifier we use four diodes. Okay, the figure 1 shows the circuit diagram of a full wave bridge rectifier, and figure 2 shows the input and output waveform of the full wave rectifier. These waveforms are similar to the waveforms of full wave rectifier or center tap full wave rectifier. Okay, the circuit uses four diodes D1, D2, D3, and D4. D1, D2, D3, and D4. The AC supply to be rectified is applied to diagonally opposite ends of the bridge through the transformer. Between other two ends of the bridge, the load resistance RL is connected. Here is RL is connected, and here is the secondary of the transformer is connected. Here the one important point is here that here is a normal step down transformer is used, while in center tap full wave rectifier we use a transformer with the center tap facility, but here a normal step down transformer is used. Okay, let's see the operation of the full wave bridge rectifier. First one is during the positive half cycle. During the positive half cycle of the secondary voltage, the end A of the secondary winding becomes positive and end B becomes negative. That means end A becomes positive and end B becomes negative. This makes diode D1 and D3 forward bias. That means, and while D2 and D4 are reverse bias, hence only diode D1 and D3 conducts. Here, the point A becomes positive and point B becomes negative. Hence, only diode D1 and D3 becomes forward biased, while diode D4 and D2 becomes reverse biased. Hence, these are off state. Hence, these are not shown in this diagram. Okay, only the conducting diodes D1 and D3 are shown in this diagram. Okay, the conventional current flows through load RL is shown by the dotted arrows. Okay, this is the direction of the current flow. It may be seen that the current from M to L through the load RL. Okay, that means during this positive half cycle, diode D1 and D3 conducts, hence output voltage appears across the load. Okay, now let's see the operation of the full wave bridge rectifier in negative half cycle. During the negative half cycle of the secondary voltage, now end A of the secondary winding becomes negative and end B becomes positive. This makes diode D2 and D4 forward biased while D1 and D3 are reverse biased. These diodes are reverse biased, hence these are not shown here. This is diode D1 and this is D3. These are in reverse bias, that means in off state, hence these diodes are not shown here. Okay. The conventional current flows through the load RL is shown by the dotted arrows. That means the current flows from positive to negative. That means from B to D2, M, RL, D4 towards A. Okay, this is the direction of the current. It may be seen that current flows from M to L through load RL. That means in negative half cycle, that means during this part, diode D2 and D4 is forward biased. Hence, output voltage is appears across the load. I hope you all now understand the operation of the full wave bridge rectifier. Let's see once again. During the positive half cycle, point A becomes positive and point B becomes negative. Here is this is the waveform form AC input signal, which is made up of alternate positive half cycles and negative half cycles. Okay, during positive half cycle, end A becomes positive and A becomes negative. Hence, this point is at positive value and this point is at negative value. Hence, current flows from point A towards through D1 because D1 here is forward biased. At the same time, D4 is in reverse bias condition. Hence, current does not flow in this direction. Okay, I hope you all understand the concept here. Here, positive terminal is connected to the anode of D1, hence it becomes forward bias, and at the same time the positive is connected to the cathode of the D4, hence it is reverse bias, hence this diode does not conduct, hence current flows from A to D1. Okay, now when it reaches to point M, then it goes from load RL because at the same time this D2 is reverse bias because this is the positive supply and is connected to the cathode of this diode. Hence, diode D4 and diode D2 is in off state. The current flows from diode from point A to D1 to M, RL, then D3 and then point B. This is the direction of the current. That means during positive half cycle, diode D1 and D3 becomes forward bias. Hence, output current flows through diode D1 and D3. Hence, the output appears across the load. Okay, I hope you all now understand the operation in positive half cycle. Let's see the operation in negative half cycle. During negative half cycle, point A becomes negative, point B becomes positive. Here, point A becomes negative. That means the negative is connected to the cathode of D4. Hence, D4 is forward biased, and this negative is connected to the anode of the D1. Hence, D1 is reverse bias. Similarly, D3 becomes reverse bias and D2 becomes forward bias. That means these diodes are in off state. Okay, only D4 and D2 conducts. Now let's see the operation in detail here. Here point B becomes positive, point A becomes negative. Hence current flows from point B to D2, then from RL to D4, and then to point A. Here D3 and D1 are reverse bias. That means during the negative half cycle, the diode D2 and D4 conducts. Hence the output appears across the load. This is the total output, in which the positive half cycle gives the output because of diode D1 and D3. During negative half cycle, the output is resulted from the diode D2 and D4. I hope you all now understand. During next positive half cycle, again D1 and D3 forward biased, hence the output appears. Okay. Now let's see the animation of this bridge wave full rectifier, in which we are going to see the operation in two modes, during positive half cycle and during the negative half cycle. We know that during positive half cycle only diode D1 and here diode D2 conducts, D3 and D4 does not conduct. Here there is some difference between the two diagrams here. In this is diode D1, D2, D3 and D4. In this diagram, there is D1, D2, D3 and D4. Okay. The notation is not important here. Here the important thing is that to clear the concept. Okay. Now let's see the concept here. During the positive half cycle, the diode D1 and D2 is forward bias. Okay. During the positive half cycle, the current flows from diode D1 to D2. This is shown in this animation. Okay. Here is during positive half cycle, the current starts from here, goes to this point, then it travels from D1 to RL, then to R2, and then the negative terminal. Okay. Similarly, during negative half cycle, the opposite diodes are on. That means during negative half cycle, the current starts from positive terminal to here in this diagram D4, then load RL, then D3, and then negative terminal. Let me clear once again. Here is in both the diagrams. That means in this diagram, the diodes D1 is used here, D2, D3 and D4 is used here. Okay. And in this diagram, D1 is used here, D2 is used here, D3 is used here and D4 is used here. That means in this diagram, during the positive half cycle, diode D1 and D3 is forward biased. Okay. And in this diagram, diode D1 and D2 is forward biased. I hope you all now understand. In both the diagrams, the operation is same, but only the notation or the sequence of the notation is changed. This is D4. Here there is used D1. Okay. I hope you all now understand the basic difference between these two diagrams. Okay. Now let's see the characteristics of the full wave bridge rectifier. First one is ripple factor. Ripple factor can be mathematically defined as the ratio of RMS value of AC component of the output voltage to the DC component of the output voltage. That means ripple factor is equal to RMS value of AC component of the output voltage to the DC component of the output voltage. The ripple factor for the bridge wave rectifier is 48%, which is similar to center tap full wave rectifier. Okay, the peak inverse voltage. The peak inverse voltage is the maximum reverse bias voltage up to which diode can withstand. During the reverse bias, the diodes do not conduct, the total voltage drops across the diode. Thus, peak inverse voltage is equal to the input voltage Vs, which is similar to the half wave rectifier, but the full wave rectifier has the peak inverse voltage PIV is equal to twice Vs. Okay, I hope you all understand the difference here. The transformer utilization factor. The transformer utilization factor is defined as the ratio of DC power delivered to the load and the AC rating of the transformer secondary. The half wave rectifier has around 0.287 for half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier has around 0.693. Okay, now the fourth factor is rectifier efficiency. Eta is the ratio between output DC power and the input AC power. That means eta is equal to PDC upon PAC and its value is 81.2%, which is similar to the full center tap full wave rectifier. And the last factor is the form factor. The form factor is defined as the ratio of RMS value to the DC value. That means fill factor is equal to RMS value upon the average value and its value is 1.11. Okay, let's see some advantages of the full wave bridge rectifier. First one is high rectifier efficiency. Second one is low ripples in the output DC signal. And third one is low power loss. The disadvantages of the full wave bridge rectifier is that the only disadvantage of the full wave bridge rectifier is that the output voltage is 2 diode drops, that means 1.4 volt less than the input voltage, and it requires 4 diodes to operate. Hence, the circuit is complex here. Now, let's see the difference between the three types of rectifier: half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier, center tap, and full wave bridge rectifier. This is the diagram of the rectifier in which we can see that the only diode D1 is used. This is the diagram of center tap full wave rectifier in which we can see that two diodes are used. And this is the diagram of the bridge rectifier in which four diodes are used. Okay. The next difference is that in this one, the diode or one semiconductor diode is used. In full wave rectifier, two diodes are used, and in full wave bridge rectifier, four diodes are used. In half wave rectifier, ordinary transformer is used. In full wave rectifier, center tap transformer is used, and in full wave bridge rectifier, transformer or the normal step down transformer is used. Okay, then the next difference is that in half wave rectifier it converts only half cycle of the applied AC signal into the DC signal. In full wave rectifier it converts the whole cycle of the applied AC signal into the DC signal. Similarly, in full wave bridge rectifier it converts the whole cycle of applied AC signal into the DC signal. These are the waveforms for the half wave, full wave, and bridge wave rectifier. Okay, the value of IRMS for half wave rectifier is I0 upon 2, and the value of IRMS for full wave center tap and full wave bridge rectifier is that I0 upon under root 2. The value of IDC for half wave rectifier is I0 upon pi, and the value of IDC in full wave rectifier and full wave bridge rectifier is IDC equal to twice I0 upon pi. The value of ripple factor for a half wave rectifier is 121%, and the value of ripple factor for full wave center tap rectifier and bridge rectifier is 48.2%. The efficiency of half wave rectifier is 40.6% and the efficiency of full wave rectifier is 81.2%. I hope now you all understand the half wave rectifier, center tap full wave rectifier and full wave bridge rectifier. Thank you.